listening to We Watch Movies.
I'm Ava.
And I'm Jenna.
And we watch movies. So this week we watched Oxygen, which I believe is a French film that came out on Netflix pretty recently, May 12th. May 12th it came out. It's about a woman who's trapped in a pod, going off through the interspace or something, and she's running out of oxygen, and she needs to figure out who she is and what she's doing there and how to survive. Anyways, dogs are barking. Apologies about my dogs. Anyways, so yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Jenna, what were your initial reactions?
So any initial reaction I had of this movie was definitely skewed by the fact that I got like the twist at the end in like the first 20 minutes, not even. I was very impressed with myself, so I feel like it made me enjoy the movie more because I was happy.
Okay, wait. First of all, spoiler alert. Second of all, Jenna, which twist? There were like 8 twists.
The one about the clones. But they were all clones.
Wait, that one? I thought you would have guessed that she was in space before you guessed that she was.
No, I thought it was common knowledge that she was in space.
I thought that she was underwater. At first I thought that somebody had like been like, "Oh, you're a bad scientist and you're my competitor or whatever," and put her under the water.
No, I just assumed she was in space the whole time. Was I not supposed to do that?
I don't know. Cause like they did that weird zoom out thing, so I also thought she was underground at one point. I don't know, but anyways, so Jenna has clairvoyance. I did not.
Listen,
I just
show me images of white lab rats and assume that I'm not going to think you're talking about cloning. Okay, that's my piece.
Okay. Well, did you like it? Like, what was your like scale of 1 to 10 kind of thing?
So this wouldn't be a movie that I would pick to watch on my own. So just keep that in mind. That like, just like objectively, this movie's maybe like an 8, but I enjoyed it like a 7, maybe a little less.
Well, I think a 7's a solid score. I probably wouldn't have ended up picking this for like myself, just because I generally just don't pick like movies that aren't originally in American, because I don't know, I'm not a fan of reading subtitles, so I always end up listening. Well, actually, that's a lie. I have subtitles on all things. But, like, I like it when the subtitles and the language, like, both translate to my brain the same way. So whenever I'm watching a movie that's foreign, I use the dubs, which a lot of people would poo-poo me for. But, I don't know. Sometimes you get some really funny dubs, and I like it. But I liked the dubs in this one. They were, like, pretty good. They were pretty solid dubbing. But, so, anyways, I liked this movie a lot more than I thought I was going to. I know that we've been doing, like, a few, we've been doing a bunch of space movies lately, kind of, but, or maybe it was just, like, the one other movie that was like, oh, we're running out of oxygen. Oops. But, okay, well, space freaks me out, and so this added onto it, like, the claustrophobia, and the running out of oxygen, and being in the middle of space, like that also, and the existential crisis that freaked me out. But no, I thought it was really effective. I did think that. I don't know. My God, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, we were initially gonna watch Woman in the Window, which is currently number 1 on Netflix, but I looked at that one on Rotten Tomatoes, and it got like a 30-something. And I looked at this one on Rotten Tomatoes, and it got a 90-something. I was like, Jenna, do you want to watch a really good movie or a really bad movie based on critic reviews? And she was like, I guess we should watch the good one. So we watched this one instead, and I'm honestly glad about that, because I would have probably gotten annoyed and had to bash Woman in the Window for like an hour, which I didn't necessarily want to do. I like Amy Adams, but alas, her but yeah, anyways, this movie, I thought it was really effective and freaky and thrilling, and yeah.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed our choice, because this definitely had, like, it definitely lingered with me. Sometimes if I watch a movie and I don't really like it, I'm just like, okay, I'm never gonna think about this movie again, and then I don't, because I have no reason to. But, I mean, since we've already talked about the space part, I know space can freak you out, but, like, I love space in movies. I think it can be just done really well. And the scene where she's looking out the window and just goes out into space, and, like, first of all, someone was really having a fun time, because they had the spiral spaceship turned back into her eyeball, which was someone was using their brain for that part. But I just really appreciated that scene. It just, because you're in that cramped space that of the pod that she's in essentially the whole movie, but then all of a sudden they just like blow the whole thing out, and it's almost like, okay, take me back to the pod, this is like so much. And I don't know, that was probably my favorite scene in the whole movie.
Yeah, space is I find space really freaky, because it's both isolating and just so open, and it's like claustrophobic in its openness, you know? And so like this whole concept, like everything about this concept was freaking me out, and it was like I am not all like, when you can really tell when a movie is not effective in its like thrillingness, when it's like, oh, this person's gonna die, and you're not literally like squinching up, like, you know that when you're like freaked out, or there's a high stakes thing that the character is going through, and like every muscle in your body contracts and you just get smaller. Yeah. Is that just okay, that's not just a me thing?
Yeah, you're like flinching, like on behalf of the character, like the thing that's happening to them is gonna come out of the screen, and like I have to be ready.
Yeah, like it was okay, so this happened at what was it? She was about to get euthanized, and like you could see the look. I was like, you know, I was like, and the same thing happened when she had to put all the things back inside of her.
Oh no!
And like all these moments just like really got me, and like like they had so and every time like the rats came out, and I know she was hallucinating, but that freaked me out. Like that got me. It's because the tension throughout was so well done, and literally Milo could have just like come online and been like, danger or something, and I would have been like, what? what's the sitch? You know, it's that in that way I think that this movie was very, very effective, and it's just like they really settled into that constant nagging tension that made it just so intense. The tenseness. Yeah, I mean, hee. I use words goodly, you know. But anyways, it was. I think that was really effective, and the concept was really interesting, because, like, you know, I mean, there have been like similar things. There have been like space things, like the whole space and oxygen stuff has been done before, but I don't think quite in this way. At least not that I've seen. There probably has been some space movie that's similar to this that I haven't seen. But I really liked this one. It's definitely, I think, of all of the movies that we've watched that aren't from America, that we've watched for this podcast, I think this might be my favorite.
I don't know what my favorite is. I'm pretty partial to, oh god, the title just left me.
The Life Ahead?
Yes, the Italian one. I'm sorry, I don't know why I couldn't think of it.
You weren't perchance thinking about Sentinel, or maybe Nobody Sleeps in the Woods Tonight?
Oh yeah, no, that was my favorite. How could I forget? Absolute joy of a movie. 10 out of 10 would watch again.
Those dubs were hilarious.
Oh my god.
But no, I just, this is definitely, I don't know if it's like, maybe it's like Oscar worthy. I don't know if it's Oscar worthy because I haven't seen obviously all of the foreign films that are coming out in this entire year, because you know this year is like what, like a third of the way done now already. Wait, what?
We're almost halfway done,
May.
Ava.
Whoa! Hold the phone. Excuse me, when did that happen? I'm sorry, that's not correct.
Did we go into a cryogenic sleep and wake up halfway through the year? What's going on?
When did this happen? Excuse me?
I mean, compared to
God.
last year, which was like 5 years in 1 year, this is like half a year in 1 year. Well, I mean, it has been half a year. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about it.
Anyways, what were we even just talking about? We were just talking about something. Oh yeah.
Hey, Ava, you want to talk about existential crises now?
Okay. I do think that it's a really interesting thought. Like, what if somebody just told you that they just kind of plopped their memories into your head and cloned themselves, and they're actually like old, and you're just like a clone of them? Like, what kind of crisis would that send you into? I mean, I know she was having a crisis, but like, would it be weird if I said that I'd be like, okay, is that weird?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, are we saying like just our lives, like the ones we have right now, or like, because it depends. Like, if somebody tells me like, oh yeah, all these memories, like, what if like it was a criminal or something? I have all these memories of doing these awful things, and then they're like, oh haha, no, that wasn't you, but you have to live my life now. Like, that would be kind of not great.
No, like, if you just woke up tomorrow and some lady came in and said, hey, you're 12 minutes old, we cloned you, we put old Jenna's memories into your head, because she's dead now and you're alive, you're 12 minutes old.
I'd probably be like, okay, why this one? And I mean, I don't know, what else would I have to do? Like, move on with my life? I mean, I don't have many other options. I'm 12 minutes old, like, I can't exactly get my old memories back.
Because, like, I was just thinking, like, she's all like, oh, I don't know who you are, but I know how you smell and I know who you are, but, like, she's like, I don't know how you are. Which is, like, like, you know people based on your memories, so technically she does know him. It's just he's in a different body and she's in a different body, but she knows him because her memories are what tells her that she knows him, you know?
In a past life, she knew him, but I mean, yes, you have your memories, and your memories in some sense dictate like your thoughts and feelings and how you react to things, but moving forward, she's going to make her own memories and make her own decisions that potentially could differ from the original person.
Well, yeah, because they took Elizabeth's memories from when she was that age, so she didn't remember Leo dying.
Yeah.
But or no, she did, but like not really. But like it was that age. That's why she doesn't have any memories from when she's like older. But like it's just because if you didn't tell either of them that they were clones, they would know each other. So why is the fact that they know that they're clones mean that she doesn't know him?
Well, I think it's more so like she knows him, but moving forward she doesn't really, like, I don't know how to like put this into words. Like, it makes sense the less you try to explain it, I feel like. Like, does she know him on a base level? Sure. But she's technically not the same person, and he's technically not the same person. So moving forward, they're not going to really know each other and who they are in the future.
But they're both like, it's the nature versus nurture type of thing. Like, they both have the same well, I guess because their memories were nurtured and natured in the same way, and they remember each other, and they remember being married, and they remember having kids or trying to have kids together. They remember all their fun times and their happiness. And like, if you put these two people together and didn't tell them they were clones, they would act like husband and wife. But then you tell them that they're clones. Why does that change how well they know each other?
Because now they're aware of their own autonomy. Beyond. Like, it's like, say, I don't know if this is a good analogy, but like, say you're an actor, and it's like, okay, you have to play this role until I tell you to stop. So you play that role, and then when you're told to stop, you have to behave as yourself. So, this isn't making any sense.
But it's the same mind. It's like the same thoughts and everything. So it's like if I'm a clone right now and I'm thinking the same way that whatever Ava, whoever is irrelevant now, would think, I would make the same decision that she would make if she were in that position. In which case, there is no actual like autonomy technically. It's just like, I'm just the same person. I'm just in a different location. I mean, maybe I'd be operating under the fact that I know that I'm a clone, and maybe that would, like, shake me up a bit. But, like, I would still know the mind inside of the other person's, like, cloned body. You know?
I think I regret opening this conversation. My head hurts.
And then the other thing that concerned me about this is, like, she, like, filmed a video for him where she's like, oh, I don't know you, and I'm a clone, and you're a clone, and whatever. Maybe he wasn't supposed to know that he was a clone, but also she was like, oh, and I'm about to die. Goodbye, Leo. And then she, like, turned off the recording because she was gonna go die. And then she just didn't. So I feel like Leo woke up to that message.
No, wasn't she still recording the whole time? Because I was concerned that she was recording the whole time while she was inserting all the needles back into her body.
Yeah, but then at the end he was like, oh, there's not enough to regenerate you or whatever. And she's like, oh, I'm gonna die. And she said bye. She said goodbye, Leo. And then like, I feel like he's gonna wake up to a very distressing video of his wife, like, inserting needles into herself and being like, oh, I'm gonna die. When you wake up, if you're getting this message, I'm dead. And then he's gonna, like, get out of his tube, and then she's gonna be like, hi. He's gonna be like, what the heck, Liz? Why you do that? Why are you mean to me and give me heart attack when I wake up? I want a divorce. Wolo divortia Messine.
Honey, I'm home.
No, but I feel like that I feel like he's gonna have the biggest existential crisis. I want to know what his crisis is, cause I feel like it would be completely different if you're dead and then you're reanimated. Like, he's gonna look into the mirror and not see the scar on his face as a constant reminder that he's a clone and that he died and all this stuff.
Yeah, and she at least got to have, like, a nice hour and 40-minute, life or death experience where she can come to terms with it and figure it all out herself and, have a good scream, a good cry about it. And then she got to, like, take a nice long nap to kind of smooth things over. So she's gonna, like, kind of have come to terms to this, and then her husband's just gonna be like, okay, just woke up after bunch of years and I'm apparently a clone. What's poppin'?
Yeah, no, she's giving him a very traumatic message to start his new life. But like, I don't know, man. It's just a lot. And then And then like she did another sus thing, and her hair just like magically became not braided at one point because they wanted to make it look cooler for zero gravity. And that's another thing. So I think that she has magic clone powers that make her hair autonomous.
Yeah, I noticed that too with like her face. Like in one shot, she looked like super like distressed and like really sweaty and everything. But then like in the next, she like turned her head, and it looked like she had like been able to like go to the bathroom and like clean her face and like I don't know. This is like a weird thing to notice, but it's just like
I don't.
it was just strange.
I don't get how a hypersleep is supposed to work. Cause like theoretically you still like need to like does it mean that it stops bodily functions? Cause that just means you're dead. I don't get it.
Well, I mean, there are like some poisons that can like bring a person like essentially to the brink of death, and then you have to like resuscitate them in some way.
But you would still need oxygen and food in some capacity, right?
Yeah, well, they have like all the tubes and wires stuck in them.
But she had zero oxygen. When she went to bed.
Well, she had like a small percentage. So
like
if you're in
0.03.
hypersleep, I feel like you need like significantly less.
Okay, I just googled it. Hypersleep is fake. Just wanted to make sure that everybody knew this.
Well, I mean, I figured it can't be real. But like, if we're just debating the fictionality of it, it's reasonable to assume, if you suspend your disbelief enough, how it could work, even if it plausibly couldn't.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I did think? What I like? Okay, so there was this whole Milo guy, and I didn't know if I was supposed to trust him or not. And like all the different callers were all like very traumatic for me. It was an emotional roller coaster, to be honest. But then like Milo was all they had this whole part where she was like, oh, so if I divert that function, you won't be able to kill me even if I beg you. And then he's like, correct. And then she's like, okay, reassign those, which like I get in practice, but then in like the next second it's like, oh yeah, you're gonna asphyxiate because you failed at your timing. Because like the minute that he was like, okay, yeah, that's I'll reroute the things, and then she was like, okay, put me in hypersleep, and then he was like, you're disconnected. I was like, oh, they're gonna this is how she's gonna die. It's gonna be a really horrific ending. Like my heart sank so far, and I was like, whoa, Milo, you gotta be more like you gotta, maybe when she's like, oh, so you won't kill me if I do this, and then he should have been like, yeah, but you should probably remember to reconnect yourself first. That would have been nice to know, Milo. You know, just like tell her to reconnect herself. I mean, I know she survived, but like still. And like the euthanasia thing should definitely be consensual. Like, come on.
Yeah, like it's kind of like you would think that would be something like, I guess because like they're clones, they wouldn't have had that choice because they probably were just like put to sleep like immediately. But it's like it's really icky to think that like the people who created them consented for them, and kind of thinking about like how they could have done that. It's like, oh well, this person is technically like 10 minutes old, or you know, like.
But I feel like if they're awake and talking to Milo, they should be able to say, don't kill me. Yeah. Like, I mean, I get having that procedure in there in case that they can't reply, but if there's a talking person in there that's like, hey, don't kill me, they should be able to not get killed.
Yeah, no, watching that, I was like, that was definitely one of those, like, shrink up in my chair moments that you were talking about earlier. I was like, yeah. Oh, euthanasia.
And see, I'm not a needle person. So there was a lot of, like, freaky bits in this.
The umbilical one?
Oh my, that was the least of my problems.
What?
It was the toe one for me. It
no.
was the toe one for me, Jenna.
Oh, I could do the toe.
I'm so squeamish about feet and toes specifically.
Have you ever
like-
stepped on a Lego before?
No.
That I could do the toe needle.
No. It's like, it's a weird thing for me. Like, I can watch characters get their guts torn out all I want, but if somebody just slices the bottom of their big toe, I'm going to, like, disintegrate. It's just, it's just a weird thing for me. It's just, that's my thing. That's the thing that squeamishifies me. Squeamishifies me? But, like, yeah, so I was watching a movie once that had, like, Kristen something or other, the girl from Twilight.
Kristen Stewart?
Yes, her. She was in it, and it was, like, a water thing. They were on an underwater base, and it was, like, breaking.
I know what movie you're talking about.
Okay, well, I watched that, and, like, it opens with her having her foot cut open, like she stepped on a piece of glass, and then everything was, like, wet on the floor, and she was walking around barefoot with this wet foot cut. Oh my god! Literally, they brought out Cthulhu at the end, and she was going to explode herself with a nuclear bomb. That didn't bother me, but her walking around with a cut on her foot at the beginning? Oh, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, I feel like you've talked about that before. Was it Underwater?
The movie? Yes.
Okay.
I might have mentioned it. Did he do the toe thing in Cherry? I know he used his ankle at one point.
I want to say yes.
No, but I can't do feet things. That, or like just cuts in water, or like cuts in gross things, like 1917 with his hand cut bothered me, or like The Impossible when her leg was like dangling off. That bothered me because it was in the water. But like the umbilical thing, I mean, it bothered me, but like not nearly as much as that frickin' toe one. My gosh.
But the umbilical one was so long, and it just goes like, oh, right into your... No.
Listen, all the needle pokey things bothered me, but none as much as the toe. Okay, the toe is the ultimate bad thing. Like, I can't imagine jamming something between my toes. Absolutely not. No, thank you.
I can't imagine, like, stabbing myself in the stomach with something.
Well, I can't really imagine that either, but like if I see a character getting stabbed or stabbing themselves in the stomach, it doesn't bother me. However, if you're cutting somebody's toes, my gosh, like, okay, see, I'm gonna see Spiral this weekend. That's a Saw movie, in case you didn't know. And there's plenty of gore in the Saw movies. And I don't care if they cut the feet off at the ankle. That's fine. But the second you start cutting off toes, I can't. It's just, it doesn't work for me. Absolutely not.
So what you're saying is Spiral decides that they're gonna start targeting toes, you're gonna have an issue.
Yeah. I watched, what was it, Truth or Dare, I think it was that, on Netflix. It wasn't the newer one, it was like the older one. And there was this part at the end when it was like Dare cut off a bunch of different body parts, and one of them, they cut off a pinky toe with one of those big clippers. Oh my gosh. And then she cut off her foot later and I didn't care. She cut off the whole foot, but the pinky toe, absolutely not. No, I refuse.
I mean, a pinky toe with clippers, though. Pinky toes are pretty small. I mean, I don't think that's the worst thing. Like, if you had to do, like, one of the middle toes, I don't know, but
All of them are
like,
bad.
It's already at the edge. It's fine.
It's the part where your toes like meet your foot. That's like the worst part, like that underside and that little vulnerable oh my god. Achilles knew what he was talking about, man. Yeah, no, I don't like. I mean, come at me, Saw. I'll watch your movies. Just don't start cutting off toes.
I mean, Saw, you heard the lady. Oh.
But like, yeah. Anyways, that was a tangent. So we found out that Jenna doesn't like stomach stabbings. I don't like toes. Neither of us care about the impeccably long needle that was going into her arm vein.
Oh, I didn't like that either, but I'm just not going to talk about that.
It was
like,
so much longer in the beginning than it was at the end.
Yeah, like, I mean,
at
like,
the beginning it was so much longer.
That's at least, like, normal, like, medical things that you'll see sometimes, so, like, at least that one, like, didn't surprise me, but, like, the stomach one, I was like, why? No,
the first one had, like, it had, like, an extended long part inside of her at the beginning that it didn't have at the end. I swear.
She might have ripped that out
to start.
Like, when she ripped it, like,
but, like,
are you saying, like, part of the needle, or, like, part of the thing that was, like, in her arm?
It was inside of her arm.
Yeah, she might have ripped that out, because I feel like that might have been, like, a splint to make it easier to, like, put in and out. I feel like that's a thing that they have in medical stuff.
See,
so when she ripped the whole needle out, she might have pulled that out.
Like, I get it that she needed to take out the needles eventually because of the, what is it, the euthanasia thing, but, like, I've never understood, like, a character in a show or a movie or something wakes up in a hospital and they, like, immediately rip out all their IVs and stuff, and I'm like, that's not what you're supposed to do.
I lived, I don't need it.
If I wake up in a hospital, the first thing I'm gonna do is not rip out all of my, like, medical supplies, okay? That seems like the last thing that you should do, and actually, no, you shouldn't do that at all. It should be the doctor that does that. Which begs another question. When all these people wake up, who's taking these things out? Is it that weird little robot arm? Because I'm pretty sure hers is broken now.
There's no way that one arm could service 10,000 people.
No, the one inside of her pod.
Oh.
That poor little arm was being so abused. He was my favorite character.
It was just trying to work it. Just trying to work it.
He just wanted to give
has
the
like a living wage. It's away from its family. Going so many miles away from home. Its commute is awful. The people it's serving don't appreciate it. And then this one lady in a pod is always trying to smash it against the wall and steal its needles. Like, we really have to
give her a sedative. I wonder what was the sedative to, like, put her fully to sleep, or would it just calm her down? Because I kind of was thinking the whole time, girl, maybe you should have taken the sedative.
Yeah, because she kept, like, gulping up all of her oxygen, and I was like, I'm gonna, like, start freaking out if you keep breathing this deeply and screaming, Liz. Because you need to stop using up all your oxygen.
Because, like, most of the time, when you take a sedative, it's not, like, a full sleep sedative. It just calms you down, you know? And maybe it'll get you a little bit out of it, but it would have made her conserve her oxygen more, which I think she needed. Like, honestly, I would have, if Milo was like, do you want a sedative? I would have been like, how strong is the sedative? And Milo would have said, oh, it'll, like, calm you down, but won't put you to sleep. And I'd be like, yeah, sure, hit me up with some sedative. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like that would have been a helpful question.
I guess when you're in a new situation and someone's like, hey, do you want a substance that you don't know of that will inhibit your mental capacities and your physical capacities as well to a degree that you don't quite know yet? I mean, maybe not.
Okay, yeah. Whenever I criticize this character's actions, please take it with a big old. It's easy for me to say, because I'm not in the situation. But like, do that for any time that I criticize any character in any movie, because like I feel like it's implied. But anyways, I feel like when she found out that there were a bunch of other pods that were quote unquote lost, like, I mean, at the end, they're like, I would have asked, like, whether or not they had oxygen, that they could, like, sauce me some. But, like, I feel like if they were quote unquote lost, they would have had some sort of functionality issue. Why were they fully operational and lost?
I have no idea. I mean, there could have, like, 1 or 2 or 3 of them could have just been, like, design flaws, you know, just
But, like,
from the start they were doomed to
433.
fail.
433. We're all operational and full of oxygen. I thought they were hit by an asteroid. How would they still be full of oxygen?
Well, we don't know how many of them had oxygen. We don't know how much. She just said, like, give me all of their oxygen. But we don't know how much that was.
I'm pretty sure he said that 433 pods were operational.
Oh, well, if that's what he said, then I mean, I don't know, maybe Milo's just a fool.
I could be wrong. Because I didn't memorize this movie yet.
Yeah, I mean, that I don't understand.
Ooh, you know what I did want to ask you about, though?
What?
What do you think of the soundtrack?
The soundtrack was pretty cool. I meant to listen to it again, and then I forgot, and I didn't really have the chance to. But I thought it was cool. It used a lot of, like, the same kind of phrase in its music. Like, most of the time when I picked up on the soundtrack, it was really just repeating, like, the same thing that I had heard, which wasn't necessarily a bad thing, but it wasn't, like, super complex. But, you know, it was kind of synth-wavy, definitely had space vibes, definitely wasn't, like, super blown wide open. That made it kind of weird that it was in a pod, but I thought it was good.
Yeah, I thought that when it came in and it was, like, really big, in, like, big moments, like, usually when they were showing off the vastness of space and they would play their little motif, I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. I think it was effective. I think basically everything that they did in this movie was effective, except for the makeup that they gave to Leo when he was, like, dying.
Yeah, that was weird.
Also, wait, were they implying that Leo had designed the landing gear at the end?
Were they?
Because he was like, look at the helicopter seeds, and then all the things were falling down like a helicopter seed.
I didn't even notice that.
You didn't notice that? Dude, they were building that up so much. I was like,
Well,
when
no,
are these helicopter
noticed,
seeds
like,
going
the
to come into play?
helicopter seed thing, but I didn't see the things falling at the end.
Milo showed a simulation of what they would look like, and they were like, pew, 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 pew.
Well, I mean, that would make sense. It's like, it's the future that they built together.
Aw, how cute.
You know, when you can't have kids, you make your eternal honeymoon to another planet with 9,998 other people.
I do wonder if they made the clones, like, stronger in their bones, because they said that the planet was, like, way bigger than Earth, and I was like, okay, well, are they gonna be able to walk? Because, like, gravity, way bigger planet. As people leave their pods, they go splat. But, like, I don't know. I thought it was kind of interesting how at the beginning they were really, like, trying to get you to think that there was a person behind this or something. But, like, there was actually no, malintent in any of it. It was just, like, an actual malfunction. You know? Which I thought was interesting, because there's always, like, somebody causing issues. Like, it's always somebody's fault that somebody has to die. And then, like, this it was nobody's fault that she almost died, you know?
Just kind of happened.
It's like, yeah, life sucks and then you almost die in this case. But yeah, no, I thought that was interesting because like it's always easy for a movie to just be like, and this is the bad guy. But like there's no bad guy in this movie except for maybe like the government that was trying to lie to her. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and you could raise the question, like, was the original Liz, was she not like a bad guy, but like how necessarily do we feel about her because she kind of created all of these clones, like didn't tell them anything and just shipped them off to another planet. Like, I don't know.
She's definitely not vegan, I can tell you that.
Yep.
She's very pro animal testing, clearly. I don't know. I there are a lot of like different takes on the whole like, Earth sends people to go inhabit another planet. And like most of the time I feel like it's usually generations go by on the planet or on the ship before they reach the planet. Like that's how it was in Chaos Walking. They sent like their parents over like 50 something years before, and like they had kids on the ship, and then they would go colonize this other planet. And I think it's kind of what happened on the 100. That's also what happened on WALL-E, but that was on another planet. And then this one, it's like, oh, let's just put a bunch of people into hypersleep. Which is another method. Which I've seen. I mean, obviously hypersleep comes up every once in a while, in movies and stuff. I recently just watched Love, Death, and Robots, which I highly recommend. It's really good. They had an episode, I think it's like their second episode, and it was like kind of about hypersleep. It was like this crew is flying somewhere else and they have to be put into hypersleep because they're going really far. And then a bunch of other wacky antics a bunch of other stuff happens. But anyways, I think, I don't know where I'm going with this. It's just interesting that there are different like thoughts on that kind of concept.
Yeah, and I mean, it's definitely an intriguing one, albeit according to Ava's Googling, fake. But yeah, and like, I mean, we even see it in like the old like story of like Rip Van Winkle. Like this guy like falls asleep for like 70 years and he wakes up and he's like, what's going on, people of the universe that apparently exists now? So it's definitely intriguing to see, especially because, like, if you think about it, all these people would have, if everything went according to plan, they would have woken up on this entirely new planet, like, however many years in the future, living lives that they don't even realize technically aren't theirs. Kind of a weird dream to wake up from.
Yeah. Wait, okay, Jenna. If somebody like came to you and offered you the opportunity to go into hypersleep, not clone you go into hypersleep and go with a bunch of people into another planet light years away, and go colonize a new planet, what would you do it?
So, while I could probably use the sleep, no. Probably because I've seen too many movies about hyperspace and colonizing other planets.
Okay, what if they were like, okay, we've located another habitable planet, but the flight is like 72 years, and we need people to go on to the rocket and like reproduce and make another generation to go colonize another planet, would you go live out the rest of your life in space?
I don't know. Like, I have stuff that I like
Picture like
here.
a fantastic.
And I mean, while it would be cool, I don't know if I'd want to, like, go colonize another place. Leave that to someone else.
But, like, what if it was, like, the Axiom? That was the rocket that you were getting on. Do you know what the Axiom is?
What do you think the answer to that is, even?
Have you seen WALL-E?
Oh, that's what that is? That's what it's called?
Jenna, yes.
I've seen WALL-E.
Yes, it's the
Okay,
Axiom.
I didn't know that it was called the Axiom. That's the big spaceship, right?
Yes. They had a
Then
bunch of
definitely
generations on the Axiom. You
Then
wouldn't
no
get on
thanks.
there?
No,
Why?
I don't like cruise ships, and that's essentially just a cruise ship in space.
But cruise ships are fun.
I mean, I've never been on a cruise before, but I don't like boats, so...
Oh my god, some random this random girl almost drowned me on a cruise ship once.
Exactly my point, Ava.
It was a very full pool, and I was in it, and I was trying to get out of the ladder, and this bigger girl, because I was really little at the time, this bigger girl put her hand on my head and climbed over me to get out of the pool.
Yeah, you see, that kind of just encapsulates two of the things I dislike most in this world. Big boats on oceans, and huge amounts of people in one place.
My sister lost me on a cruise ship once.
Yeah, see, the more
Reminder,
you
I
talk
was really
about
little.
cruise ships, the more
I
you
was really
say.
little. We were trying to walk back to the hotel room, and she knew where it was, but I didn't really. I just knew that we were going upstairs, and we kept like racing each other up the stairs, and the stairs would split, and we would take different things. And then one of these times, I got up to the top of the stairs, and she just wasn't there, and I was like, "What?" And then I didn't know where she was, and I didn't know where to go, and so I just kind of cried in the corner of the staircase until some guy was like, "Child, would you like help?" And I was like, "Yes!" And he took me to the front desk, and I had a room key in my shoe because #stop fake pockets, and that's where I kept my room key. And they were able to locate my room based on my room key, and they brought me back, and my mom had like cruise ship security in the room. She was like, "I was about to put your face on a milk carton," and I was like, "Emmy's fault. Emmy lost me." But the good thing about a cruise ship is, like, if you get lost, there's only so many places that, like, you could be. You know, if you get lost in, like, another country, you're, like, gone forever. But if you're on a cruise ship, it's a confined space. Same thing if somebody steals things. It's, like, more chance that you'll get it back.
Yeah, that's true,
also-
but at the same time, like, I don't know.
Well, it's also more survivable than a rocket ship. Have you seen Have you seen Passengers? The Jennifer Lawrence movie?
I actually have.
What did you think of that?
I didn't really like it. It wasn't really my thing, but I mean, I thought the spaceship was cool.
Yeah, I did kind of like it. I don't remember how good I thought it was.
I didn't think it was very good, and it was okay, but I liked the spaceship and the robot that was in the spaceship, the bartender.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, yes, him. Wait, was Chris Pratt in that movie, or was it somebody
Yes.
else? Okay.
It was Chris Pratt.
I need to rewatch that movie because I remember liking it, but like, I was also easy to please at the time. That was before I became a movie snob, which I don't even know if I'm a movie snob at this point. I just like to comment on things that I didn't make. What?
I'm a movie snob.
Yeah, Jenna's a movie snob. Jenna's a book snob.
I'm
Jenna's
just a
just
snob.
a snob.
Heard it here
Yeah.
first, folks.
Anyways, I just like, I feel like anybody going into space is like asking for trouble at this point. like, nobody's ever given me a good reason to go into space. So, I think I'm very comfortable on Earth.
Yet.
Yeah, nobody's been like, oh my god, like, I never went through an astronaut phase. I feel like I've talked about this before. I never went through an astronaut phase. I feel like everybody's gone through an astronaut phase except for me. And, that's because I've never had the desire to be in the endless void that is the vacuum of space. Especially after watching Love, Death, and Robots. Oh my god. The one episode about the girl who has to, like, rip off her arm in space because she, like, needs to conserve oxygen. My gosh. Literally, don't take away your ability to breathe. Huh. You should watch Love, Death, and Robots.
It's it's on my Netflix list, Ava.
I need to make your Google Classroom at some point. I need to sit down someday
to do it.
What?
Should I just keep texting you?
I think I'm gonna do it. Just another side note. This is probably also coming out on a Thursday, because we are very busy, burnt out, tired high school juniors, and it's gonna be less busy, like starting like next week-ish, kind of, and then way less busy, late June. So we'll probably have a better schedule at that point. But as of right now, it's been kind of a mess. So apologies for that. We're gonna get back into the swing of things pretty soon, hopefully. But yeah, this one's gonna come out on Thursday. But yeah, when I have time, Jenna, like after life goes easy on me, I'll make you a Google Classroom. I'll like sit down and I'll write down a list and stuff.
Yeah, I'm planning on going back through the podcast and re-listening to all the times you're like homework and you gasp because I don't know something.
Jenna, that's like 33 hours.
Well, I'm gonna put it on like 2 speed while I'm working on other things.
And just listen for Jenna! Homework!
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a wise decision, the 2-point speed. I didn't realize that you could like make yourself read faster by putting on an audiobook at 2 times speed. Because like you can't really understand what they're saying at 2 times speed, but like when you're reading along with it, it works. I did that for my homework like last night.
Yeah, no, it's great.
That was a really unrelated thing, but like 2 times speed. But anyways, guys. I like the movie. Jenna kind of liked the movie. I would recommend this movie if you are freaked out by space, because if you actually like space, you would probably still like this. But like if you're freaked out by space and you want to be freaked out, especially, watch this movie. Pretty good. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for making it this far. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe, like, and comment, and all that fun stuff. We will probably respond to your comments, unless we are tired. And we are also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, a bunch of other platforms. So you can give us a listen there. If you're listening there already, you can probably follow us wherever you are. That would be very appreciated. I don't even know. All I know is that you can follow on Spotify. I don't use any other things, and I'm pretty sure you can follow on Apple Podcasts. So like wherever you are, if you can follow, go ahead and follow us. You can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Instagram, if I actually bother to post on Instagram, I will tell you that we posted a new thing, and I'll be like, hey, check out our podcast. TikTok, I'll post like fun little highlights from our awesome podcast. So go follow us on all of those places. Pretty fun stuff. We also come out with new videos every weekend. It's my turn this time. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but we'll find out. And yeah, so that's all for this week. Thanks for listening. Jenna, anything to add?
Just all those poor mice, they didn't know what they were getting into. The mice deserved better.
#stop animal testing. and animal cruelty and stuff. Okay, bye!